Good evening and welcome to the Random Percent 3. It's the third time around for this type of tournament, and it's 2023's version. I'm Furious K alongside Blair. Blair, this is going to be one of those where we get to figure out the puzzle that is what are the flags. There are a couple flags that won't be involved. A lot of the advanced tab will not be touched, but the rest of it should be kind of fun.
I'm very excited to see how this one goes.
So, if it's first quest, the Triforces that they'll start off with, in which there will be two of them, would be in positions 2 and 6. We don't know for sure on the 2 if that's going to be the case. Looks like the Wood Sword did not shuffle, and extra candles are going to be off, which means that the Take Anyone caves, which have the potion, and the heart container will not have the blue candle there. You'll have to either find it in a shop, which will be available, or you'll have to find the red candle in a dungeon.
Already with TruantGamer and getting his first 4 bombs of the match.
Yep, it looks like they did start with an item. In this case, it was the bait, but it can be a handful of different items. We do find level 2.
Very early on.
You can bomb up and you can go to the right. If this room bombs up, I have a suspicion that this might be the vanilla first quest 2 dungeon shape.
Quite possibly.
We'll see if Truant bombs up here. We know this one opens. We'll see if it opens. It does go right, and there are whiz robes. So the enemies shuffled around a little bit.
Gotta say, not the first enemy you'd like to see in the first dungeon you enter, but with it being randomized, there's not much you can really ask for.
Yep, so a couple situations that could occur. They could be 0 HP, which we know they didn't roll that. Could be normal HP, which I think there's a chance of. That's a bad sign. That's blue bubbles, which means that there will be some red bubbles in dungeons. Alright, it does open up, and it goes right and up from here, so this is very reminiscent of the boomerang shape or the banana shape, level 2. Leads me to believe that we might be looking at a mixed quest first front half, second back half, but hard to fully go into that yet. The reason I say that is it's a little bit more common, even with the 50-50 flag on, to get the second quest enemies kind of moving around a little bit, with enemies shuffled and second quest on one of the two sides. Could still very well be just all first quest, or maybe even shapes on the back half. We don't know yet.
No idea.
At this point, though, I feel safe in calling it level 2 Triforce, as we do find the raft in level 2.
Yeah. Not a bad item to start with in the first dungeon, or the second dungeon, my mistake.
This compass actually lights up, so maybe it was... Oh no, it was in Triforce position 3. 2 would have been second quest, my fault. So Sigil gets the compass, decides to go ahead and bail out for now. With the raft in hand, there's a chance that could be the only item in here outside of a heart container, which I think we may have already seen. So heart shuffle could be off still. Really won't have much of an idea of whether it's on or off until we get through a couple more dungeons and or we see multiple heart containers on the overworld, such as Armos and Ladder Spot.
Right.
Truant also gets the compass. I think it's the enemy setup that dissuaded Sigil from sticking around here with this land molar room. It's not the most fun unless you block clip in time, which Truant did with beam swords, so it makes it easy. 25 is the medium secret. That is the minimum amount that you can get on that secret. And blue Wizrobes
finding 25 rupees in a small cave.
Yep.
By the left side.
Worth noting that Truant has looked at both the room below the Triforce into and to the right of it, and they're both blue Wizrobe rooms.
Truant also trying to take out the blue Wizrobes just with bombs to avoid taking as much damage as possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have to get a little bit further in the doorway to kind of cheese that. We may see Truant decide against dealing with this right now, and yes, that is the case. The blue candle, we found it underneath one of the bomb spots in the grave, so that is a useful find for Sigil. Can't quite afford it yet. It did find the Ini key at the Armos in the grave as well.
Our first money-making game of the match, over by the Armos, I believe, on the right. And Sigil has found the graveyard.
Yep, and we do have level 1. It was at the raft spot that is vanilla level 4. So raft was required, and we do have overworld blocks in play, so that could end up being the only dungeon that's blocked up by a overworld blocker.
More blue Wizrobes over in level 1.
I'll say this much. If you're getting the Wizrobes early on in smaller dungeons, it's not as bad. I think it gets worse the more rooms you have, because the more chances for them to spawn. So level 1 and level 2 having Wizrobes means a little bit of tough combat in some smaller dungeons, but at the same time, you may have fewer of them overall. And we do find us
TruantGamer found the white sword in level 1.
Yep, so that's a pretty useful find. We did not have the regular enemies rolling 0 HP, so that'll make it easier to get through some of these rooms. We don't know on the bosses yet, though. I think the Lambola look to have rolled normally, but it could be a plus or minus there where they roll way down. We'll have to see.
And Sigil getting the first blue candle of the match in the store.
Question chat is first quest first half. I'm almost positive we have first quest shapes as the front side 1 through 6 at this point. It's not guaranteed, but based on their exploration in level 2 and level 1, they look the way they.
Sigil with another 25 rupees over where either that was the money making game or the shop in Vanilla Quest 1.
Yep, a money making game there normally. I don't think we've seen any traditional enemies in the overworld move into dungeons just yet, or vice versa. We do have the map for one confirming my suspicion from earlier.
And our first heart container or medicine room. Sigil finds it over by...
Yep, it's actually its vanilla location, ironically, on Candle Row there.
Sigil finding his way up to level 1 and getting the white sword.
Yeah, I think Sigil will also try and clear through most of this level 1, just because it's a smaller dungeon. You want to really ideally find both floor and staircase items, although may be a little difficult to get the staircase item in here.
Sigil choosing to fight the second Patra in the room next to the one over on the right. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's not the easiest, especially if you only got really 2 hits you can take before you get killed from it. So we'll see if Sigil eventually goes back up that way. Probably is a little bit suspicious of it being his item in the staircase. Question chat, is the wood sword given by the old man of the first cave? Yep, and it rolled in its vanilla location this time. It can move around, but it didn't in this seed. And this is the second match of our first week of Swiss action. There will be 5 rounds this year before we head into the best of 3 brackets. So they'll all be best of 1s. You start with a clean slate. You kind of build up your record after going into similar records, although week 1 we're all 0-0, so we're all even to start with. Worth noting that all the shopkeeps are saying good luck, we're all counting on you. With that being the case, we know that the book will reveal what they actually intend to say, whether it'll be community or helpful hints or whatever it may be.
I must also say that's a little ironic that they're saying that they're counting on Link while also taking his money.
Yep. A couple other notes for the seed so far. It looks like Triforces at the moment are in their own room. I'm not sure if that's just circumstances. We do find level 6 up at the gambling game in the northeast corner. This room would normally be the floor drop item in level 1. It should likely have rolled out of here, but we may be running out of options all the same. as this is normally an Aqua Menace that sits here in level 1. And the item usually drops over on the right side, and unfortunately Link drops on the left side in this race.
TruantGamer also fighting some Stalfos, which I believe are only in the second quest they throw their swords, or I could be mistaken, but seeing those in level 6 is certainly a interesting turnabout.
Yep, second quest enemies is the only occasion in which they will shoot the beams at you. They don't get any other benefits like the ropes. The snakes get a little bit extra HP. Another Triforce in its normal location. We don't need that Triforce. So, skipping it. I think Truant's just kind of hoping for some sort of easy access item in here. If he happens to get something that's really important in here, that's something that his opponent may not dig early on, is with the Triforce out of this dungeon, it's not necessarily a place that you would want to go first. You'd want to hopefully find all your items in dungeons where you need to dig Triforces.
It's only a matter of what item is it that he's really looking for in this dungeon that will help him with later, or with the future.
Sigil working back towards the Triforce. I think that's the only thing left in this dungeon really to go for. Gomas are no fun currently because we don't have the bow. I'm not sure if Truant actually took a red bubble there or if that was just a normal one that had its color phase right as he went to his menu. He's got a sword, so definitely wasn't. 15 rupee bombs means it's something that you can buy if you need it, as Sigil unfortunately finds out blue wizards are all over the place and 2 near the Triforce.
Blue ring also being 250 rupees.
Yep, that is its normal price, so it hasn't changed much at all. Truant hasn't been over to the Grave Armos, which is where the power bracelet normally is in first quest. No, actually in both quests, but in the regular vanilla game. So we'll see if and when Truant gets the money. Well, actually, he's got something more important to buy. Blue candle. Tries to leave the bait behind. Unfortunately, you can't leave the bait behind unless you find the bait block itself. Gambling game appears to be vanilla values, so those did not shuffle to other numbers.
Sigil finding the note, which will help him get the potion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it'll tell him exactly the amount that he needs to be able to purchase the either the blue or the red. For the most part, the blue will be the cheaper. There are some really rare occasions where it won't be. I don't think that one took his money, so I'm going to guess that that was one of the sword hints, as the large secret is really, really good in this scene. I believe I saw 136 there. So if nothing else, Blair, we made up for the medium secret rolling the minimum by taking a plus 36 over the vanilla value of the large secret, so that'll even out the money this seed.
That's good. Sigil finding once again another money room, only with 1 rupee. And another 25.
So a lot of overworld exploration is still going on here, as we haven't really found all that many dungeons early on here. Found the early 1 and 2, which is nice, but 6 was the only other one I really think I saw anybody in.
Yeah, it was 6. Oh, we have found level 4.
Yep, we just had to speak another dungeon into existence by saying we couldn't find too many early on in the scene. It looks like we may have the early item here. Let's see what it is.
The flute.
I believe we have a mixed overworld that we're dealing with here, so that will be more handy than it would be in just straight up first quest. Sigil is, I was gonna say, he has to know he's in the T room there. It's the only room in level 4 where you'll get that bottom right corner spawn.
Quite possibly one of the worst rooms to fight Dark Nuts in my opinion.
To be fair, there's not really a fun room to fight Dark Nuts in.
Very true, very true. Though I just don't find it to be the easiest situation when you are fighting Dark Nuts and fighting, or you have those statues shooting magic or fire at you. Another Dig Dogger.
And this would normally be the room with the Gliok, and it spawns the heart, so looks like we have a bit of a theme going at the moment with the drop rooms. This actually will make things simpler if you have good knowledge of first quest drop locations, especially in these first 6 dungeons. So Sigil will be able to get out of here now with both floor and staircase item and the Triforce. Meanwhile, Truant did just buy the wood arrows, so if Silvers are in level 9 and the Gomas block anything, once he finds the bow, it will make it easier for him to get past that block.
What the hell?
Well, the small secret, unfortunately, is a single rupee. That's not necessarily best case scenario, but again, first quest money overall probably doesn't make it too bad.
True. TruantGamer also picking up his next heart container.
We get to see the white sword item. That could be rather significant, or it could be nothing important at all.
And Sigil has just picked up his wooden arrows.
But once we find that white sword item, Truant's not guaranteed to be able to pick it up yet at 5 hearts, whereas Sigil will be at 6, so that's something to keep an eye on if Truant finds the white sword item before he finds his 6th heart container, although I think he's kind of on path to find one sooner or later here, with level 4 not being too far away.
Sigil finding an old man with nothing to say. Over in the top.
Yep. With the prescription paper, if you have that on your person, you still usually don't activate it on the first handful because it saves you the time of watching the message go by. If you don't see a message, you know you can go back to that later and mark it on your map. Sigil's going to start fluting some spots. This one does not open. The only 2 that are guarantees, I believe, are Vanilla 7 and First Quest Level 2 as a Hearts on the Coast.
And Sigil finding the heart container in its vanilla spot in Quest 1. With no stepladder to pick it up.
Kind of good news, bad news. The bad news is it's not necessarily a seed where you want to be without a ladder, but you may also run into one of those rare seeds where it's not important at all, and the coast item being a heart container makes that at least not something you have to worry about.
True. Sigil also running into a Goma over on the left in level 5 with, unfortunately, no bow.
Well, this is one of the least fun wizard rooms to tackle. It's lucky enough to at least bomb all these directions. It appears this room does not really go anywhere, though. So you have to go up in this one. Question chat, similar dungeon routing so far. The Overworld really doesn't give you a whole lot of dungeons, at least outside of Death Mountain. So with both runners not really going to Death Mountain yet, they're kind of forced to find the same handful of dungeons. They've come across them in kind of a different order, but other than just a slightly different order, yeah, they just kind of naturally have cleared the Overworld and found the same things.
Oh, our first money stealer or life stealer room, and Sigil has chosen to give away 50 rupees. Oh, that is the worst. Two of them just right above each other. Oh, but he can bomb his way out.
And the bomb upgrade is the third option. After sapping you of all your money and or hearts, it then tries to take more money that you don't have. So that mugger room may still potentially be required. We don't know if that way is the only way to get up to the room north of it, so if that room north of it's anything important, it's going to be a rough go, as you'll have to probably give up a heart and go down below the maximum. We do have a staircase here, which is the 1 transport 5.
leading us to a room full of keys.
Yep, and this will be the item.
And the item for level 5 is the magic boomerang.
Yep, with apparently at least it doesn't look to me like the HP has rolled any different for the mobs and dungeons, so my suspicion is normal monsters, including Keese and Gels that have 0 HP, are going to roll normally. And there's the Triforce room right there as well, so not too bad once you find the staircase. So you're forced likely to have a Mugger room, unless you can get across somewhere in like the third row to it.
Couldn't remember if there was a room that Sigil could have gone up with, either with killing the Goma, or if he could have bombed it. Oh, and we found level 9, but with level 5 there might have been a way if we had the bow to kill Goma, but unfortunately that is not something we have just yet.
Yeah, I didn't get. I wasn't paying enough attention to where Sigil entered that level 9. I know where it is in the overworld, but I didn't see where exactly, as far as the entry point it was. It might have been in the middle or the left or right. If it was in the middle,
it was closer to the left. True, and also finding his next Triforce piece. I believe that was for level 3 or level 4.
Yep, just left level 4, and probably will progress towards level 5 given the way that they're going right now. Going back and reviewing the footage of the level 9 entry, it was in the center left, so we don't know whether or not we have an official second quest back half, although I have a suspicion that it is based on the staircase we saw in level 5. The secrets, to answer the question in chat, are 1, which is the minimum small, 25, which is the minimum medium secret, and 136, which is quite a bit north of the normal large number. So, you win some, you lose some there, I guess. And I think the door repair, I think someone mentioned, was 19, so it's 1 off of the normal, just below. So I would call it a normal seed, nothing really causing runners to run on no money. Outside the Mugger room setup in 5, I guess. Now that's interesting. Truant just fluted, I believe. Did he just flute towards this level 5 location?
I believe so.
If that's the case, then it's recorder to unbeaten new dungeon locations, which is rather important. That will give him access to fluting to level 2, which he knows, level 7 and 8, which he doesn't know yet. And I do believe the recorder theme might be Spanish Flea, as another member of our tracking team normally, and commentary team, honestly, at this point in the weeklies, Kairos points out. does appear there is a way across this level 5 to get to the Triforce room and beyond where the item is. It's not exactly the least dangerous of routes, though. Truant's gonna find out that this is not his item. We'll get lucky enough to avoid going through it as Sigil finds level 8 at Vanilla 5. And Truant will find that blue boomerang, knows who's on commentary and won't pick it up, as opposed to Sigil. Now it's time to play a fun guessing game as Sigil's in 8, and it is absolutely a second quest 8. So if you haven't seen Second Quest 8, it's a whole lot of staircases and a whole lot of rooms.
With a manhandler right above the room that he just entered from, the staircase from. Deciding to ignore it and going to the bottom. With yet another staircase. With the magic wand.
Alright, so we're getting good combat items out of the way here. So if nothing else, we're speeding it up on that side of things. Unfortunately, the compass, well, we may have just found the compass room. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the compass in this dungeon is in a Chevy room. With it being second quest, we do have walk through walls.
Almost with that bomb with the manhandler, having to take it out with his sword. Not too bad, but I think most of us prefer to try to just preserve those bombs and try and kill manhandlers with just one. But you know, in some cases, not everyone can be that lucky.
Yeah, unfortunately, while they do have a somewhat predictable pattern, they do also like to turn around. So sometimes you have it lined up and they either just swerve off the path a little bit, or they just completely decide to go the other direction on you, kind of spur of the moment. Sigil, I think, is maybe one off of the direction. Yeah, I think bombing up here might work. Nope, walking through it does. With wand in hand, if the red bubbles decide to hit him, it's not necessarily that big a deal. This is not a Wizrobe dungeon, this is a Guerrilla dungeon, so losing the sword with the wand in hand is not necessarily a big deal in here, although the health bar might be. More manhandlers. Definitely running into the Chevys that are normally in this level 8, as unfortunately Sigil, I think, was just trying to sneak the bomb on the wall, wasn't really trying to fight the manhandler there, but the manhandler walked the direction of the bomb, lost a few claws, and got really angry really fast.
Unfortunate, but that happens, and TruantGamer has now found the magic wand, choosing to pick it up.
see how far they can go across this this top row here. Looks like there's a lot of potential for ladder blocks in other areas of this dungeon, so might be a situation where we can't quite get the Triforce in here, which would slow the runners down a little bit.
My predictions for this Triforce, I'm going to say, is going to be hidden by a Goma.
Goma could certainly impede the progress to the room with the Triforce in it. We can say for certain that the Triforce will not be under a Goma, though, as they cannot be in the Triforce rooms in this seed, given that the Triforces are in their vanilla locations, and in vanilla there are no enemies within those rooms. Both runners in the same room with the manhandle at the moment. Kind of go in different directions, though. Pretty sure that this right-hand staircase is one off of the corner spot, so it blocks your direction to the right there. Yeah, bait block in this dungeon blocks absolutely nothing. Second quest has it in 3 and 8, whereas first quest has it in just level 7 normally. So if they are in the vanilla dungeons, we will not have a bait block the remainder of the seed, which I believe they are. So the Triforce is either in the southwest part of this dungeon, or it's potentially ladder blocked beyond the Chevy room on the right column.
Quite possibly.
I don't think we've tried every staircase to get around that Chevy yet, but I don't think that there's a ton of staircases that have been skipped across both runners to this point. Looking like Truant may have decided that this level 8 is not going to be traversable without the ladder, so could be a big thing if Sigil finds a solution.
Making
Sigil,
his way
meanwhile,
also to level 7.
Yep. Sigil, I don't think, has tested the flute out to see if it gets him across to unbeaten new dungeons or not. So might be a little bit slower to find all the dungeons on his side, but that might also lead him to the White Sword cave a little bit quicker, as you can't just flute to that. We find the red candle has not moved from its vanilla location. It's in level 7 again.
TruantGamer also choosing not to pick it up, which is fair.
Yeah, at this point, the wand kind of makes it to where you just don't care about having the red candle anymore. There's a couple of very rare situations where it could come into play still. The other bomb upgrade is in level 8, so I think that's pretty standard to have it in level 5 at first quest and 8 in second quest. For those just joining in, I'm Fury, SK alongside Blair, and Camion's doing the tracking behind the scenes in this one. This is week 1 Swiss of the Zelda 1 Randomizer 2023 tournament. It's the third iteration of the random percent. And we found a way around the ladder block in 8. It's a particularly big development because if the ladder's in a rough spot and it is not required for anything in this seed, then Sigil will have quite the time advantage. Question in chat in the meantime, what flags are we looking at for this one? It looks like mixed quests dungeon-wise. First mixed Overworld. To my knowledge, the Triforce rooms, Compass rooms, and Heart Container rooms have not changed, so I'm thinking that the rooms are staying fairly vanilla overall. As far as where the drop locations are. So we're definitely going to have a Zelda in her own room, only accessible from the southern door.
Sigil also making his way to level 7. I think he just tested the flute, which may tell him that the flute does bring us to unbeaten dungeons. So, being that he only needs 2 more Triforce pieces, that quite possibly gives him a nice advantage.
Yeah, there's one of the Mugger rooms that is normally in level 7 second quest. Should be the last of the Mugger rooms, I do believe, that we'll see in the seed, though. As I say that, I got told off for trying to be guessing, I guess, and we got the 4th one. But I think that's required given that the bomb walls are very rare in level 7 second quest. In the original game, they don't exist at all, but in the randomizer, there are some situations where logic and randomization of rooms kind of make that impossible. So you kind of occasionally see that bomb wall open up. We'll see if Sigil tries to get in from that direction or not. So at this point, TruantGamer either has to go back to level 8 and find the right path, or has to find the white sword item and have it be the ladder, or the ladder has to be in like level 6. And or I guess level 1 has the Patra that we haven't checked yet. So those are the kind of locations that you can look forward to Truant checking. We did just see TruantGamer recently get another Takening one for his 5th heart, so back up to potentially being able to get it, as Sigil's now going to start losing all his hearts.
Sigil also picking up his 7th Triforce piece. Now all he needs is level 2. However, a little slowdown here is that no one still has the bow, so that will be an interesting thing. Although the bow could also still be in level 9. I wouldn't necessarily count on it, but if the roads go there, then only one another way to find out. Unless it is somewhere hidden in level 2 or level 6. Sigil
like
also finding the red candle.
Yeah, so let's see. One of the late changes to the flag set was a change to the red ring and silvers no longer being forced to level 9. We did just see the book, though, at a shop, so we know the big shield is now going to be the dungeon drop. Alright, so we have the bow, the silvers, the ladder, and the power bracelet that are key items. Important items, I believe, are 50-50 to level 9. I'll confirm that in a second.
Sigil also making up the lost heart containers that he lost back in level 7 from the mugger rooms.
Yeah, so I feel like the most logical items to be in level 9 still will be Silver's Red Ring, Boomerang, or Big Shield.
And the magic sword has been found, but no, not enough heart containers.
Yeah, I actually don't think there's enough heart containers left in the seed for them to realistically even try to go for that. And with White Sword, honestly, it's not going to be a huge deal. Unfortunately for Sigil, ran out of bombs before getting to Western Death Mountain. We'll see if that's a big issue here in a moment, as Truant's going to have enough bombs to get through it. So just trying all these potential flute locations doesn't seem to be getting very lucky, as there's nothing... Well, there's no White Sword, at least, below it, as far as the White Sword Cave goes. Still has this spot to check real quick. And nothing really of use there, so... Now it's going to be an interesting choice. I feel like that's everything except for Western Death Mountain for Sigil. Power Bracelet is the White Sword item. Blair, I don't think we've seen any roads yet, so I have a hunch that the normal any road spots will be vanilla.
I don't think they will either.
So if that's the case, it really opens up just the Death Mountain West Power Bracelet spot. Potentially. Potentially as well the Arrow in Eastern Death Mountain and the second quest level 4, which is just below first quest level 5. Truant's going to confirm it for us now. Any road there, it seems very normal. Probably will take the any road up to the Lost Hills, or at least I would have thought that was the play. Actually, I completely misread the money in the seed. It is kind of a bad seed for money. That is the second quest color for that level 3. So, large secret of 136, there was only one of.
Sigil making his way to the staircase that he had opened up over on the other screen, but was on the other side of the screen. We couldn't reach it to find a shop.
Yep. With this seed, there's a question in chat about how likely is a ladderless seed. We know level 2's Triforce is accessible, as it's just a Triforce room and the Wizrobes are blocking it. So the runners will be able to get into 9 without requiring a ladder. And once that happens, given that 9 is the shape of Ganon's face, it's there's not a lot of potential for ladder blocks there, so at this point it would have to be a ladder block right in front of Zelda to probably make that happen. The ladder... Yep, Sigil's gonna see if he can beat those blue Wizrobes this time, as I think the biggest potential for the ladder to still be a requirement is if you need the ladder for the bow. I believe Sigil is on a random tunic, so green tunic with random colorations to it. Taking a rather unorthodox play in this room, Truant finds level 3, which is one of your starting Triforces, so this may pay off if this is where one of the key items is at. Sigil did have a potion, I think, so this room is a little bit easier now.
Sigil also finding his last Triforce piece, but without some of those key items, it's not going to be very easy to defeat Ganon.
I honestly think Sigil's play here is probably to go to level 9 and look for the staircase items. If nothing else, there's at least a reasonable chance that the silvers are going to be in there at this point, given the ability for the important items to be in there is diminished as it's only a 50-50 flag. However, Sigil is going to go towards that Patra now with the white sword and wand in his possession. It should make it a little bit easier to get through. So the major development is what's in this level 3, which could potentially be found out here momentarily, and what's in this level 1, which also can be found out momentarily. 3.
The ladder.
Alright, so Truant knows that he can get the Triforce in 8 now. Probably doesn't realize that it's actually not required yet, but if it's required for 9, that'll put Sigil in a bad spot. I put a decent chunk of money now on this potentially being the bow in 1. Oh, no. I'm stunned that that wasn't it. Well, I'll have to find one of the other push block rooms in this one. I don't think that this room can be a push block based on that drop location.
I wouldn't count on it.
So the second quest rooms can be in level 1 first quest. We're gonna find out. Oh, look at me. I'm full of bad information. And that is the bow. The odds of that being the push block room were definitely low. However, the low percentage play here works out, so Sigil... I would be stunned if Sigil's not going to 9 at this point. Red ring and silvers to 9 is actually hard to say because we have every other key item now in place. So red ring and silvers is not 50-50 to 9. It's actually off completely at this point in the tournament. So it's got equal odds of being the shield, the boomerang, the red ring, and the silvers.
Sigil also making his way to level 9 with a room full of beasts to greet him as he enters the third room of level 9.
I don't blame Sigil for going for this in level 9. Second Quest 9 has far fewer staircases.
There's the big shield in level 9, the first item. Oh, that is... What a way to go, entering the room only to spawn right on top of a Patra. Unless I missed something in the second room over right, the top door over there did not open, so that leads me to believe that that may be where Zelda is, unless there was, unless that was a room for wall masters.
Yep, seems like it was Zelda. I had momentarily put the view in the corner, so I didn't see myself, but chat saw it. Truant is back in the correct dungeon for the bow, at least, so not over yet. I think there's only 2 or 3 total staircases in this level 9, pending, I think, if it's a one-way, kind of messes up how many there are. It's a weird situation with 9 only in second quest with the one-ways being shuffled. And Ganon is located. We can't do much about that yet, though.
Sigil finding Ganon in the vanilla room that he would usually be in.
This is a turnstile? Yeah, turnstile. The question, chat, about the Ganon and Zelda rune flag, specifically it's tied to the Triforce rune flag, which is potential to stay the same. So, because the Triforces were not shuffled out of their Triforce rooms, Ganon and Zelda will also not be. Sigil, unfortunately, is trying to bomb up in this 9. We know the top row can't exist in the middle of it.
TruantGamer now finding the bow.
Chat's asking some more technical questions about the issues with the flags. I think the issue with the flags is if Dungeon Room Shuffle is set to vanilla and you have like shapes and stuff, it really messes it up. So that flag is off, but the Triforce rooms and Ganon and Zelda's rooms aren't necessarily going to bug out if that happens via the Triforce room setup. So, yeah, Alsoa has the gist of it here. Basically, you can avoid it and still have the vanilla Triforce and Zelda rooms. But if you have it with vanilla shapes and shuffling them on and off, it messes it up. Of interesting note, we do know that there's only a 33% chance at 9 having silvers at this point. We don't have the second item at 8. If Truant happens upon that at any point here, then that's a huge, huge lead for Truant, because it's going to take Sigil a little while to get back here. Sigil may not have found level 3. I'm unsure of whether or not the second item in this 8 is ladder blocked. Should be about up to the second item in 9 here. We're, I think, now down to maybe a one-way being in 9, and the last item room. Chat alluding to level 3 being under a power bracelet spot as well, so if that's if the ladder's required, that's even more time that TruantGamer has. But right now it's coming down to this item in level 9 and what happens to be.
TruantGamer also running into a Wallmaster in level 8, saying good luck, we're all counting on you, which I'm going to go ahead and assume that that is what usually would be the Hungry Garaya.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely the bait block. And second item in 9 is silvers, so we have the conclusion up and upon us here shortly.
Sigil also knows where Ganon is, so all he really needs to do is find Zelda. However, I believe he might already know if the room that I had mentioned earlier was where Zelda might actually be, with the closed door over on the right side of the map.
Yeah, so question chat. Zelda can be ladder blocked potentially, but that would be if Zelda was not in her own room, which she is in this one. So this is a ladderless seed. So Sigil wins if he can take out Ganon before TruantGamer gets into 9, finds the silvers and Ganon's location. He'll find the silvers in Zelda's location, basically one after the other, if he goes down from Zelda's room. worth noting that there are some red bubbles along the way, so that would be the other thing that maybe stymies Sigil, although he did have a blue potion up until just now. So, gonna have basically one crack at this. 6 hearts can take 5 fireballs, now can't take hardly any more, and definitely can't take a driver. Looks like off-centered Ganon here. Oops. I think he was going to die if he didn't go down through that bomb wall anyways, so I don't think that changed anything. Does have enough money for a red potion, though. They are 54 rupees. And Truant's going to explore the last few rooms of this level 8. I don't hate that decision, it's just not the correct decision in this specific seed. At best, it would be red ring. If it's red ring, it might benefit Truant. Nope.
Truant also finding the wooden boomerang in level 8. But he is not grabbing it.
Nope, probably not thrilled. If it was red ring or silvers, probably would feel great. Maybe not feeling great with the red ring. If it was silvers, Truant would feel great.
Absolutely.
It's still not over. Ganon on 6 hearts and being off-centered on the pattern, which means it's a tile off one way or the other, makes it very difficult. To answer the question, chat, the red ring and the big shield are split between, let's see, level... Look at that for a second. Big shield would have been in 9, and red ring by default had to have been in level 6. Still looks off-centered to me. Looks like Sigil's going to struggle here a little bit. Got him this time with the stun lock, it looks like, though.
And Sigil has now beaten Ganon. All he has to do is find Zelda, and by that, I believe he knows exactly where he is, or she is.
Yes, indeed. Get your GGs out for Sigil. Gonna finish first here. 113.06 officially. Truant looks like he saw that was a dot done, and with the blue whiz robes being in the way and no silver arrows in his possession, is going to just say no thanks to the rest of this, which is fair enough.
That is fair.
So we'll probably send the invites out here momentarily to both runners and see if they want to come talk about it. Felt like this was going to be a close race, so I'm not particularly surprised with Sigil coming out on top here. I think they're pretty comparative runners here as far as their abilities at this point. And with that, I think they are both about ready to jump on up.
Yep.
Yeah, we are joined first by Sigil. Congrats, and welcome as well to TruantGamer.
GG, guys.
GG, thank you.
Yeah, GG.
All right, Sigil, start with you. I know that you're aware of the red ring and silver's flag being turned off at the last few stages. Was it second quest 9 that influenced your decision to go in there and go for the silvers? And were you concerned when you saw the big shield first off?
With what items I had left, I figured it was a decent chance that Silver's or Red Ring would be a 9. And yes, I was concerned once I saw the big shield.
So for Truant, Truant found level 3, which I believe chat noted was Power Bracelet blocked at second quest level 4. He'll have to confirm that for me. And that had the ladder, and I think Truant may have felt that the level 8 was ladder blocked when it in fact was not, and that kind of put him behind a little bit. And once he found the Triforce, I think there was only 3 or 4 rooms left and was hoping that it would be Silver's in there or maybe Red Ring at minimum. Unfortunately, it was the Boomerang.
Yeah, it was in that location. I wanted to be sure that I wasn't leaving an item after dealing with that horrible, horrible dungeon multiple times. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look back. I thought I pushed on that wall. I could have sworn that I pushed on that wall multiple times and checked it. I must not have. So that was really what, between that and not realizing the room the bow was in, definitely ate up a lot of my time.
Yeah, I think Sigil was trolled, and I actually was trolled equally by the level 1 bow location. I was under the impression that if it did the level 1 spawn point of the item on the floor, that it was pretty rare for the push block to happen, so I was presuming that the Patra was blocking the item, but come to find out it wasn't.
I just still want to fight Wizrobes again.
Yeah, that was that level 2 Triforce location and the room south of the Triforce and east of the Triforce. Not fun. But yeah, Truant didn't get to see level 9. The Silvers were 1 room to the east of start. Zelda was 1 up and 1 east from start. And Ganon was about the only thing a bit trolly to get to. Ganon in his own room was actually the biggest troll, as he was offset by a tile. So Sigil had a lot of fun with that, unfortunately.
Thank goodness I had money for another red potion.
I honestly believe that red potion was what really saved you in the end with that match, or with that fight.
Yeah, a bit interesting, because Truant was basically forfeiting in the Wizrobe room in level 2, so right ordering the Silvers in level 9 is actually not too difficult to pull off, given how close they are to start. If you kind of just look around naturally, you might get a chance to go into that room, maybe to eliminate it, since you're looking for a staircase item. So it definitely was a race that could have been really close in the end. Had Truant decided to finish off the race, it might have ended within 3 or 4 minutes. So definitely was a bit of a pressure cooker, even with you finding the Silvers and Truant being in level 8 at the time.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a door down from that room, because I was excited to see Zelda's door.
Yep. It's, in the end, you found it. I think you found it with about 10 rooms left in level 9, so it wasn't quite the full clear. You didn't get much of the northeast corner explored. But with that, that's just week 1, so it's a good start for you, and an unfortunate one for Truant. But there's certainly plenty of time left to get the record either in better shape or maybe have a bit of stiff competition knock you down some. So we'll see where everybody ends up here by the end of the Swiss rounds. Any final thoughts from either runner before we kind of let you go and wrap it up here?
I really dislike Second Quest 8.
I don't think anyone likes Second Quest 8.
I can definitely say that there are I can maybe count that on one hand.
Was the second item in 8 1 north of the Triforce room?
1 south. Or 2 south.
Yeah, so you couldn't go up past the Chevy room if you took the staircase to the very south part of that column. because you didn't have the ladder. I don't know if that would have opened, but I think it was the room above that and the room below. I think maybe the transport that you found at some point there, Sigil. I don't remember. I don't remember it at all. Level 8's too hard for me to remember every room of.
Yeah, too many staircases. That's the only thing that I can really think of with level 8 second quest. Too many staircases.
Yes, and I did not appreciate, I think, the double mugger room in 7.
Oh, the double mugger in both 5 and 7 was a thing of beauty. Truant didn't see the double mugger in 5. He found the way around it, but both of them, I had thought that we were not going to see another mugger, but I guess with the being mixed quest, it may have thrown my number counting off. I thought usually 3 was about the worst you got, but apparently you get 4.
I tried to give them all the bait, they didn't want it.
I shed a tear in 7 with the double mugger room for giving up my heart.
Yep, the power bracelet, by the way, Sigil, Northwest Death Mountain. He ran out of bombs, unfortunately. Would have only really hurt you, though, if ladder was required for silvers, which it was not.
Yeah, as I was getting down to my last couple dungeons, I looked at my item list. I knew Heart Shuffle was off, and I didn't have a whole lot left, so I was kind of prioritizing finding 3 or the white sword item, hoping that it was going to be bow, so I didn't have to go back into 1 or 6, and then finding the 2 of those I thought wasn't bad. Finding a ladder where I did, I figured it was important, and not the case.
I just assumed it was off after level 4.
Which was about your 3rd dungeon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them early on, I got the heart out of, and it was in the boss room, so I was just kind of rolling with it, that's where they were going to be. And then I got another one later and figured it wasn't worth digging floor items anymore.
Well, it was certainly an intriguing race, pretty much up until silvers were found in level 9, so it could have still gone either way after that, given how low percent you had to fight Ganon with, but Sigil, I think, on the second attempt in there had enough health plus potions to get through, so we'll look forward to see who you two get matched up with next week, and some more, hopefully, entertaining and exciting races.
Thank you for the comms and the restream and the track.
Yep, thanks everybody.
All right, that was Sigil and Truant. GG's to both. We'll see them next week. See who they get paired up with. Blair, as I said to them, it was pretty much up in the air until we saw the silvers, and even still didn't quite know how Ganon fighting would go. It's always one of those tricky situations where you can get a stun lock real easy, or you can really struggle to fight it if they're off-centered, which Ganon was in this case. It's always kind of the worst-case scenario.
Quite true, especially with the fact that he was off-centered there. That made it just a little bit more difficult for our players. But in the end, it all just comes down to the way I like to see it. It all just comes down to luck.
Yep, you can certainly influence it with a bit of some techniques and a little bit of play over time. Certainly, Sigil's improved quite a bit since he first entered the scene. Truant's been a pretty tough opponent for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's good to see everyone's kind of equaling out now as we gain experience. So once you kind of all get to the same experience level, unless you're like one of the side towns or the Third Wolves or the RC drones that kind of dominate the tournaments and do real well across them all, Saver can be added to that. Outside of that group, it really feels like the, let's say, 5th ranked player all the way down through the 40th or 50th ranked player now is pretty competitive. So I'm looking forward to a lot more fun tournament action.
Absolutely, same here.
with that, I'd like to once again thank Cammy and Rendakai for tracking, as they get the least shoutouts and arguably have the toughest work with all the watching of 2 screens at once. So appreciate that effort. Thanks again to SpeedGaming 4 for putting us on the air. Thanks to Blair for being in the commentary booth with me. Hopefully you'll get to join in for some more commentary over the next couple of weeks with us.
Been an honor.
And with that, I'm Furious K. There is another match on SpeedGaming main channel between Cytown and Ice Blue, so that'll be a fun one to go watch, and that's where I'm heading next. Hope to see y'all next time, though, for some more Zelda 1 randomizer action.
Have a good one.